This investor thought a single property was enough to retire on, but when we ran the numbers, they were facing a 1.1 million shortfall by the age of 72. And the problem wasn't the rent, it was the missing framework. So let us show you where a plan like this always breaks and how to fix it.
And then for today's example, what we're going to do is walk through my buddy Nick. And so what's happening here is, after watching a lot of our content, we talk a lot about leveraging a home equity line of credit to be able to generate wealth or pay bills or do velocity banking, meaning it's a debt tool. Using a home equity line of credit, whether first position or second position, to be able to put yourself in a position to where you can increase your cash flow and ultimately use that cash flow to do other things. And what I love about this example is this gentleman already, before we even talked, he had already headed down the path based off our videos to qualify or get himself ready for a home equity line of credit. But what he really wanted to talk through is, should it be first or second, because he had some specific things that he wanted to do. There was some specific actions that he wanted to take with this home equity line of credit. And so he wanted to make sure that, one, this was the right vehicle and it was structured in the right way so that he could take those actions. And then the piece after that was, hey, I'm not really ready for retirement. I mean, I got a 401k, but I haven't been with this company very long, and I really don't have what's necessary for me to be able to retire in some I'll call it short term or traditional retirement age. So hey, once I get this HELOC and once I take care of the things that I'm wanting to do, I also want to focus on generating wealth. And so what that starts is the conversation around, well, what are you doing today? And if the goal is to generate wealth, what does that number look like in the future? What is it that you're trying to hit? Because of your age, depending on when you're trying to hit that number, that will determine what kind of actions maybe need to happen today. What actions need to take place today in order to be able to achieve that.
Specifically.
And again, right, exactly. And it being with the real goal being wealth and or financial security, are we really talking about using this HELOC for other things, or is it really, hey, let's focus on wealth and stability and financial freedom, or the accessibility around trying to put yourself in a position so that you don't have to work forever. So it's really peeling back the layers and understanding what that would look like. So digging into some of the details of our buddy Nick, we've got Nick. Nick's 42 years of age. And I actually didn't need a whole lot of detail. So there's not I'll call it the traditional content that you're normally seeing with a lot of the clients that I work with, or the client examples that we do here, meaning what was his income and all of that kind of stuff. We've got the important things. One being, hey, he's 42 years of age. He's got cash flow of about $1,800. So regardless of what his income is, he's got cash flow, which is significant. Cash flow of $1,800. He's got a HELOC that he's already been approved for $100,000. Now he's got his current home. The original price for the home is $306,000. It's worth about $425,000 now. He only owes $175,000 on it. And as it relates to where he is in that amortization schedule, he's at 16 years. And one of the most important factors of all is his beard does connect. And what I appreciate about that is, if you look here, and if you look here, it looks like mine connects, but it doesn't. And that's something that I absolutely struggle with. So when I'm referencing, I'll call it an example where the person that I'm talking about, absolutely their beard does connect, I get a little bit jealous.
I like
feel
to
some
point
type of
it
way.
out because it seems like it's an achievement. There are a lot of people who are, it's their pinnacle. They're trying, this is part of their goals, right? It's for that beard to
Right.
connect. So I just thought, let's just give it up for Nick, because clearly he's hashtag goals in other areas.
True story.
Is
True
that
story.
drawn in? No, it's not drawn in.
It's not.
No,
it's not. All right. So again, 42 years of age. Main piece here is he does have cash flow of $1,800. And what's the objective? What's the goal? Well, from his perspective, his objective is to take this $100,000 HELOC and put it to work. He wants to take a portion of it and take care of or rehab his kitchen and bathroom. And that remaining, his objective is to kind of introduce himself into the real estate space, because he realizes at 42 years of age and not fully having a retirement in place, there's an opportunity, especially in the area that he lives in and some of the opportunities within the area that he lives in, there's an opportunity to pick up some pretty cheap rental properties and maybe even Section 8 them and do this, rinse and repeat, do this over and over and over again. So rather than take all 100,000 and put it towards real estate, take care of some of the things at the house. And in addition, take the second half of that, the $50,000, buy a rental property, put someone in it, and start generating some residual income. And we went down this path of, okay, what would it look like if we just followed through with what Nick wanted to do? And that is do exactly what was asked. Ultimately, take action and put that $50,000 to work to get that first rental property. Well, once we get the first one, what do we do after that? Well, at some point, we'll be in a position to be able to either leverage that first rental to be able to get another, meaning we've picked up enough residual income over time to be able to put ourselves in a position to be able to get another property. Or as we start creating room or leveraging the $50,000 in the form of some type of line of credit, then use that to then get the next property. But ultimately, follow this process over and over and over again to be able to get to our goal, which is generating enough, I'll call it retirement income or residual income, to be able to replace our current income. Well, before we can do that, how about we first focus on what is that income that we're shooting for? And I think when we first started having this conversation, that wasn't I'll call it a part of the process. It wasn't, hey, I need 46 rental properties in order to achieve my income. It was more of a, hey, I'm going to start with one property and continue to build upon that. And so when you truly look at his plan, it actually looked more like this.
Right.
Which is, hey, which is, hey, I've got this one rental property. I'm creating this passive income, and I've got in here. So here's what I know. And I only know this because we've done it. In the area that he's looking to buy properties, it is pretty easy to find homes in the range of, I'll call it $28,000 to $60,000. And so his objective was to pick up some of these 50,000, I used an average $50,000 homes, and again, use that full 50,000 to buy it all,
pay it off,
buy one property, pay it in full, and then use that rental income to put himself in a position to buy more. Well, in addition, if you buy a property and you have that property free and clear, the ability to be able to get some type of line of credit on it to be able to buy more properties are there as well. So ultimately what that means is at some point, as we move through this process, we pick up another vehicle and we use the residual income between these two vehicles, then pick up our third vehicle, and it just continues on and on and on.
But it's linear,
which is
in this way.
Right. And that was kind of where I was getting at. In essence, what we're saying is I'm eating my dinner, and once my dinner is done, I'm going to have dessert, and it just continues to, and you're right, it becomes a linear approach to accomplish the goal. But still, what is the true goal? Is the true goal a dollar amount? Is the true goal number of properties? Like, what is the true goal? And in peeling back the layers, here's what we know. The true goal is income. The true goal is being able to replace the income that I have. I don't want to work forever. Well, if you got 30, 40 rental properties that are producing for you, $899, which, once you take out the taxes, insurance, any maintenance issues, this number is probably more like $599 maybe. That $599 per property, how many of those properties do you need to actually be able to replace your income is the question, right?